So you're this great cinematic filmmaker, funny, charismatic, but lately you've been known for a different topic.
Yes.
Which is creator burnout and creator well-being. And I have to quickly tell you the story of how I was introduced to you.
Yes, I'm
which
intrigued.
was some coworkers of mine sent your video to me and several of us sitting there, and we started watching. So everyone knows this is the video Burnt Out at 19.
Yes.
It was a very eye-opening experience for us because we kept hearing about burnout, but we had never seen it in the moment,
yes.
right?
I had gained 1 million subscribers in a very short amount of time, and everything was just like hectic and crazy. I was on tour, I was going to conventions, I was, doing meet and greets, I was making videos and traveling, I was never home, and it all just kind of built up and built up. And I broke down and I was extremely burnt out. During that month, I had started experiencing stuff I hadn't experienced before, like panic attacks. My depression was getting a lot worse. And so I took a month off the internet and I came back and I made a video called Burnt Out at 19, which is what we're talking about. And just kind of explained what I've gone through.
No, I'm glad you did because I think people needed to see exactly what goes on with a sort of breakdown or burnout.
Do you feel that creator burnout is something out of your control and YouTube's control?
That's really what we're wrestling with right now. Is how much of this is our responsibility? Is there anything with the search and discovery system that we can do? We have a tool on the viewer side. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's time watched.
Oh yeah, I just saw it. I just saw it recently.
So if you're watching a lot of YouTube, you can set this setting for an alert that comes up that says like, hey, you've been watching for however long you set it for. Maybe it's 2 hours. Do you want to take a break? And I think part of the discussion is on the product side, should we be doing that for creators, like uploaders? Like, hey, you've uploaded every day for the past 2 weeks. Do you want to take a break?
Yeah.
We built this global stage that anybody can get on and make videos on and perform on. But now we're seeing that people are staying on the stage for too long at the detriment of their own health.
Yeah.
And what do we do about that? Like,
because you can't grab them off.
Take people off the stage? Like, you got to come down. You're looking tired. You know? We know the lure of fame is hard to not go after 100%. You know, you've found fame pretty quickly. Is part of this around fame and like, do you have any advice for creators who quickly rise to fame?
It's tough. I think something that's key is having people around you to help you with that. Having in both senses, both in keeping you grounded and remembering where you were before the fame, and then like having managers, agents, and people assistants to help you kind of keep you on track and make sure that your schedule isn't overflowing.
How much of this is about creator restraint?
It is a lot of it does fall onto the creator to, make it better. Because, YouTube can only do so much, but the creator is the one saying yes or no to these things, and they have control over their schedule and how much pressure they have on themselves. So
we struggle a lot with what we can do as a company and a platform to help creators, and we also are asking ourselves, like, how responsible are we for this happening? On one hand, I personally think, when you're trying to be the person who's in front of all the eyeballs, like that's going to burn you out pretty quickly because everyone's trying to be on top of that pile, right? But is there anything that we should do to help with this issue as a platform?
It's tough because I don't think there really is. I think you could just having a conversation about it is really helpful. I know Katie Morton, she recently did a talk on burnout, and she had tips on how to prevent burnout and tips on what to do when you are burnt out.
Yeah. We work with Katie on a masterclass for our Creators channel, and we also have a Creator Academy course. Is all we can do to educate people around this sort of trap that you can fall into in best practices around staying well?
Yeah, I think it is, because it ultimately does fall onto the creator, and it's just how it sucks because that's how it is. you're going to have to keep on making videos to keep an audience. And I guess the best you can do is really promote mental health and like putting your mental health first over YouTube. Do you have any words of encouragement to the creators who are heavily affected by burnout?
You got to pace yourself, and you got to make this a sustainable thing, whether it's a hobby or a full-time career that you're going for with YouTube. I think first and foremost, make sure this is something that's sustainable and fun, and then push it to the limit that you set for yourself, but hopefully it's a healthy one. So let's go back to, what is it, April of this year when you put out the video, Burnout at 19.
Yeah.
If you could have given yourself one piece of advice a couple months before that happened for the creator who's getting to that point, what would it be?
It's finding an upload schedule that doesn't tire you out, but also does satisfy your audience. So finding a balance. And I feel like I was sprinting for months when I could have just done a nice jog, and I would have been, either way, I would end up where I was.
So I watched a lot of videos before you coming here, and people ask, of course, how are you doing now? And I know you go, well, if I was here in April, and this is like I'm doing really well, you're like, I'm here, I'm not at half even yet.
Yeah.
So how are we going to get you on the other half of feeling better about running your channel?
I think that's just something, hopefully over time, I'll figure that out. I think a lot of it is a me problem, and I think that's working on myself and taking the time to work on myself. And getting extra help, like therapy, obviously. I have yet to really put myself full force into that. And so, allowing myself to get completely better.
Well, please pace yourself. We're
Thank
big
you.
fans, and thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much.
We've definitely heard creators say before that if you take a break from uploading, that the algorithm will punish you, and that creators definitely feel like they can't take vacations or the audience will disengage and their views are going to go down. Is that something you feel like you've experienced before?